Ladies and gentlemen, we're on the final part, which is word problems, which I'm sure is everyone's favorite. And this is doing word problems with polynomials. So example 6, the measures of two sides of a triangle are given. P is the perimeter. What expression can be used to represent the measure of the third side? Actually, that should be a question mark. So perimeter, if you remember, back to when you learned perimeter, perimeter is the combination or addition of all sides of whatever polygon you have. Hear that reword again, poly? So what they're wanting us to do here is add up all these sides to give me that one side. And what we have to do is find the missing side. So normally, side note, if we actually had numbers, and if I actually had a pen that worked, let's say this was 7, this was 8, and I didn't know what this side was, but I knew my perimeter equaled a total of, 32. Naturally, we would say, okay, well, if this is the total, I add these two, 7 plus 8, to get 15, and I take that total and subtract it from 32 to get 17. So that would leave this side at 17. Obviously, my picture is not drawn to proportion, but pretty much we take the two sides that we have, add them, and then subtract them from the total. So it's going to be a two-step problem. So first thing we're going to do, just like we did if these were regular numbers, is add the two sides that we have. I'm going to go ahead and stack those. So x squared plus 3x minus 5. And right below that, matching every term, 2x squared plus 3x plus 6. And again, we are adding those two. X squared plus 2x squared, remember this is a 1. So 1x squared plus 2x squared is 3x squared. 3x plus 3x is 6x. And then negative 5 plus 6 is positive 1. This is the equivalent of what we did for 15. So now that we had the 15, we took that and subtracted it from our total. So now that we have this, we're going to take this and subtract from our total up here. Since this is already written here, I'm going to use that as my guide. 3x squared plus 6x plus 1. And again, we are subtracting from the total to find my final side. So subtracting 4x squared minus 3x squared is just x squared. 5x minus 6x is negative x. Feel free to put the ones, though not necessary. And then 5 minus 1 is positive 4. So the missing side length is x squared minus x plus 4. This is one way you might see the problems presented. And then this is a different word problem that we've seen, I want to say 2 years ago on the EOC. It says a shoe company is going to close one of its 2 stores and combine all the inventory from both stores. These polynomials represent the inventory in each store. What is the combined inventory of the 2 stores? Combined. All combined means is add. And while these are stacked, notice they are not stacked in order. We have a g squared here, but a g squared over here. We have a g here, but a g here. So I'm going to have to rewrite to where they are stacked in order. Again, start with your first one given, and then use the second one as your bottom one. So this one is already in standard form, g squared, g to the first power. So I'm just going to go ahead and rewrite it over here as is. Next, I'm going to rewrite this one right below it in the corresponding order. So the very first thing we started with was g squared. So I'm going to start with the negative g squared here. Then we moved on to g. So I'm going to move on to positive 5g. Now notice there is still a term left, which is my constant. However, I don't have a constant up here. So here's where our placeholder comes into place. We're going to do a plus 0. And down here, we're going to do the negative 11 14, or fourths. Sorry. Combined means to add. So we're going to add what we have. 1/2 g squared plus negative g squared is a negative 1/2 g squared. I'm doing these all in my head, so I could bring out my calculator, but let's not. So I'm going to do this one off to the side. If you forgot fraction rules, here's a good refresher. 9/4 g plus 5g. So 9/4 plus 5. We put 5 over 1. I want this to equal 4, so that's multiplied by 4. That's multiplied by 4. So this is 29/4. If you didn't get that, you do have your calculator that can assist you with adding fractions. Plus 29 over 4g. Lastly, 0 plus negative 11/4. We're just adding, nothing special, and there's a 0 placeholder, so this one is just negative 11/4. So the combined inventory is negative 1/2 g squared plus 29/4 g minus 11/4. All right, you're going to have a couple of problems to do on that. Glue these notes in your notebook, and you are good to go.